Tales from the Resting Titan. The Swing in the Playground. Written and read by Javon Joseph. There's a small playground on the route I take home from work. It isn't anything special, just a patch of ground between two quiet residential streets. A rusted slide, a bench that has been there longer than most of the houses, and a metal swing set with two sets of seats hanging from old chains. During the day, you'll never notice it. Kids from the neighborhood use it sometimes. Parents sit on the bench and scroll through their phones, the usual kind of place. But I never see it during the day. I pass after work, after a 13-hour shift. By the time I reach that part of the streets, the whole neighborhood is asleep. The houses are dark. Streetlights hum quietly over empty sidewalks. And the only sound most nights is the faint echo of my own footsteps. Now, I should probably mention something before I go any further. I never believed in paranormal things, ghosts, spirits, anything like that. To me, there was always some explanation. Wind, loose hinges, something. Sometimes people see what they expect to see. That's why the first night it didn't bother me at all. It was a long shift. One of those days where your body feel heavier with every step home. As I turned onto the quiet street with the playground, I heard it before I saw it. A soft metallic creak. Slow, rhythmic. Creak, creak. When I looked over, one of these swings was moving. Just a gentle rocking motion. Back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. The other swing hung completely still beside it. I didn't think much of it. Kids had probably played there a little earlier. Or the chain was just loose. Or maybe a breeze had caught it. I kept walking. The creaking faded behind me as I moved further down the street. And by the time I reached my house, I had already forgotten it. The next night, my shift ran late, even longer than usual. By the time I was walking home, my legs felt like concrete. The neighborhood was even quieter than the night before. No cars, no dogs barking, just the low electric buzz of the streetlights. And that sound again. Creak, creak. I glanced towards the playground. Same swing, moving again, rocking slowly, back and forth, back and forth. This time I stopped, mostly because the song was echoing through the quiet streets. And it was the only thing making noise at that time. I stood on the sidewalk, watched for a few seconds. As I watched, the swing slowed, then stopped. Just hung there like it had never moved at all. I remembered rolling my eyes a little. Loose chain, I muttered to myself. Then I started walking again. By the time I reached the end of the street, the creaking had started again. The third night was the worst shift of the whole week. 13 hours on my feet, no real break. By the time I reached the playground, I was already tired and my eyes were burning. The swing was already moving back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. The same slow, steady rhythm. Something made me curious that time. Maybe it was the way the chains caught the light from the street lamp. Maybe it was I was too tired to just walk right away. So I stepped off the sidewalk and walked into the playground. The gravel crunched softly under my shoes. Dry leaves shifted around the base of the swing set. I sat down on the old wooden bench nearby, just for a minute. The, the swing kept moving in front of me. Creak, creak. It was strangely steady, almost deliberate, like someone was sitting there rocking gently. I laughed at the thought, pulled out my phone. Look at this, I said quietly into the camera as I started recording. Swing moving there as if, and there isn't even a wind. I recorded for about 30 seconds. Just the empty swing going back and forth. The playground quiet around it. Then I stood up and went home. When I got home, my wife was already awake. She was watching television in the living room. I showed her the video, mostly as a joke. Look at this weird thing, I said. She watched it, shrugged. It's just the wind, she said. And honestly, that's exactly what it looked like. An empty swing moving slowly under the streetlight. Nothing else. But later that night, after she had gone to bed, I watched the video again. And this time, I noticed something that made my stomach drop. Because when I watched it alone, the swing wasn't empty. There was a small child sitting on it, rocking slowly, facing the camera, looking at me. I watched the video 3 times, 4, 5. The child was always there, clear as day. But when I showed it to my wife again the next morning, she still saw nothing, just the swing moving by itself. I almost took a different route home, but curiosity is a strange thing. By the time I reached the street with the playground again, I was already looking at it. The swing set stood perfectly still, both seats hanging motionless in the night's air. No creaking, no movement, nothing. I stood there a moment, then laughed quietly to myself. Maybe I'd been tired. Maybe the video had played tricks on my eyes. So I walked into the playground and sat on the other swing. The chains rattled softly as I pushed off the ground. Just a gentle swing. Back and forth. Back and forth. For a moment it felt almost relaxing. The quiet night air, the soft creak of the change. Then the swing beside me began to move, slowly, matching my rhythm, back and forth, back and forth. And then I heard it, right beside me, a small voice, soft, excited, patient. It said, "It's so nice for you to come and play with me." Then, a little closer, right next to my ear, "Are you going to push me?" And that was, ladies and gentlemen, the swing in the playground. Now go to sleep, if your mind will let you.